how do you? There we go. Hey guys, can you hear me? Hey, I hear another thing about reviews because I need to do this. And it's been a long time coming, anyways. So today we're going to be talking about Jane Dragon. So this one is very near and dear to my heart. I'll play the theme song after the whole thing. It's only 26 episodes. It's fine. So anyways, Jane Dragon is a CGI children's animation television series based on the books of the same name by Martin Benton. The show is directed by Mike Fellows, and okay, yeah. So basically, it was supposed to be. It's on Cubo in America, ABC in Australia, YTTV in Canada. So yeah, this is Junior on Disney Channel and yeah, Treehouse TV. So it's been on a lot of platforms. So yeah, so Jane is a redhead 12-year-old adolescent girl. I didn't know that. Who lives in a small fictional kingdom called Capernaum. I didn't know that one. So it's Southern England. That explains the whole thing. But she was a lady in waiting, which means a maid basically, and she decided to become a knight. Well, in the theme song it says, "Oh, I didn't want to be a lady. I wanted to be a knight." So basically, yeah, the whole thing, yeah, easily. Turnkey. I didn't know that she had a last name. Jane Turnkey. Okay. So Jane's father, Milton Turnkey, and Adeline Turnkey. Okay. So that's Jane's mom, Dragon. Yeah. Susan's dinosaur. Okay, cool. And he's 2 years old in the series. So okay. Cool. Jester, cool. Smithy or Jethro Jr., which is what his actual name is, but I'll call him Smithy because for some reason I'm not sure why. Oh, pig. Smithy's pet female. Okay, I didn't know the pig was. Okay. Being a Pepper Salter. Oh, geez, that's weird. Pepper. Oh, that's some Salter. That's pretty cool. I'm going through all these characters so you know who they are. Okay. Anyways, Fabina Pepper Salter. She's the 12 years castle cook. Okay, cool. I didn't think she's 12. Drake Rake Gardner Jr. because he's a gardener. He's 13 years old, rural gardener. Gunther Breach, he's a 14-year-old. He is Jane's rival, I guess. Even though if he's 14 and she's 12, it's only 2 years. Wait, yeah, 2 years older than her. Okay. Magnus Breach, that's Gunther's father. He's 41 years old. Dang. Okay, didn't know that. King Caradoc, which is obviously the king. 30-year-old king. That's cool. I didn't know that. So Queen Gwendolyn is 28. Whoa. Hold on. 30, 28, 30. So okay, yeah, 2 years old. That's cool. 2 years younger. Prince Cuthbert, 8-year-old. Princess Lavinia, 6-year-old young girl. Okay, sister of Prince Cuthbert. Wait, hold on. If his last name is Cuthbert and Lavinia, then how did they get their last? How did they get their last name? If it's Caradoc and Gwendolyn. That's weird. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that. So 3-year-old Brewmaster. Okay, yeah, he's one of the 66-year-old knight. God dang, he looks young as shite. Trencher, it's okay. Falcon, this Falcon, yeah, that's Sir Theodore. Sir Ivan. Oh, 66. Okay, Sir Theodore. Okay, I forgot who they were. Sir Ivan is the 44-year-old. So very good. Okay, anyways. Okay, so if you guys know been me for a while, you should know who Jane and Dragon are. I did, well, the series, I done that a lot when I was younger. Good. So much better. Anyways. So the first one is Test and Jess. Jane hasn't has her knight in training. She's a damsel test. It is difficult challenges must meet in order to carry on her apprenticeship as a knight. If Jane fails, she must sacrifice her bid to become a knight and face her fear of a future in the kitchens. The arranged marriage between the king and the queen is revealed. There's arranged marriages? What the freak? That's weird. Anyways, yeah, so basically what happens is, I'm pretty sure what happens is Lavinia is up on a big, huge, tall tower looking thing, wooden tower thing. And so she's like, okay, we're not going to do this or whatever. I could be wrong. But that's what I remember of it. Yeah, it's pretty good. But anyways, that could be the same thing. I don't know. It could be. She's like, damn, I'm this stress, whatever. But anyways, the Tooth Fairy. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say this one. So yeah, that could be the one, but I'm pretty sure it is. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. I could be wrong though. If you want to go watch it, read the description, all that stuff. You might have to actually watch it because I forgot which one I watched. So anyway, second one, Tooth Fairy. Jane has a toothache and decides to have the tooth pulled only after hearing Jane's Tooth Fairy story. So that's not. Well, it is true, but it's not entirely true. So Jane spreads this story about the Tooth Fairy of like Jane's tooth will get like a hefty she says trinket, but nowadays it's like money, right? Like for example, a Tooth Fairy might leave you like $1 under your pillow, right? It'll leave like $1 under your pillow. If you don't live in America, this is like totally weird to you. But they leave $1 bill, right, under your pillow, or maybe even more. I don't know. It depends on how rich your family is. But I just revealed that Tooth Fairy isn't real. Sorry, kids. But no, she says it's going to be a trinket, maybe like a bracelet or like a ring or something. In Jane's case, it is a ring because she spews that fake thing about it, and Gunther finally says to Dragon, "Okay, yeah, she's just lying," and Dragon's like, "What? Do you really think she'll lie to me?" I bet. I'm gonna make you eat those words. It's funny. In front of Jane, he says that, and she says a fib. No lie. It is still a lie. Yes, it's a little white lie. You know, but you know what? It's fine. Don't worry about it. It'll pass eventually. He gets mad. Finally making a crown better, but that's what happens. Okay, third one, Jester Justice. This one's pretty good. So Jester's hysterical impression of Ivan, the big guy, leads to a face-saving duel. Jane is mortified, Jester is terrified, and Jane's effort to save her friend from public doom seem doomed. So basically what happens is Ivan does not take lightly to any kind of joke he actually says. At the very end of it, Jane is like, okay, well, I mapped out a whole castle for hiding spaces. Finally, Jester's like, leave me alone. I got this. Just, I'm trying to sleep. Go away. He got the under control. Cool. So what he does is he proposes a new rule, which is wit. Right? A song. Jesters do that. Cool. So they do that, and Jester obviously wins because it's Jester. So Evan can't sing very well or do anything funny like Jester can, but he still wins. Just still wins. That's fine. That's about it. Dragon's Tail number 4. So Dragon comes down with a case of Curly Tail and is up to Jane and Gunther to save him. So Gunther and Jane team up in this, apparently. I'm not sure why, but they do. So when that happens, so Curly Tail is kind of like a disease for a dragon, or a cold to the dragon. You know, something like that. It's a sickness, basically. He was sick. And Curly Tail also causes the dragon to have a stomachache, a bad one, like bad indigestion, like bad, right? Like, you ever have these like stomachaches, like, eating something spicy, or like, you know, it's just unbearable, right? Freaking bad stomachaches, right? It's bad, right? It's bad, right? You have to runs all day. Your stomach hurts like all day. It's bad. You just feel like you want to puke all day. That's basically what Curly Tail. That's how I think of Curly Tail. So basically, what happens is Jane and Gunther go up to a part of the mountain where the rock is weak and the wind's strong, right? Jeez. So anyways, as a result, they have to go up there and get a plant to make a soup. That is bothering me so freaking bad, bro. Clip it later. But they go up there, and it's like the winds are strong, and the mountains like really weak, right? So Jane goes up there, and it's like, don't let him fall out. Don't let him fall out. Don't let him find out. Right. So finally, Jester tries his best to make it look like or seem like Jane's still at the castle. Well, that doesn't work out because he drops the mop that looks like Jane apparently. But it's crazy because Jane's like, don't let Dragon follow because he's gonna mess up and he's gonna get more sick if he does. I want him to sleep and get better. Make sure he doesn't follow us. Okay? So Jane and Gunther are obviously gonna fight. It's gonna happen, right? So anyways, that's basically what it is. And they bring up a soup for him to drink and yeah, whatever. Okay, number 5. Shall we dance? Gunther insists that Jane is good enough to become a real knight, and Jane is determined to prove him wrong. So much so, in fact, that she misses the annual ball and says about trying to capture a flower thief. So okay, so this one is good because Gunther is the one that's supposed to steal the roses. He steals the flowers because it's just funny as heck. So finally, at the very end, they're like, Gunther's like, let me think about this. Actually, I gotta think about this for a second. That's about it. Actually, yeah, that flower thief. Yeah, flower thief. It's the flower thief keeps going around. Yeah, all right. That's basically all right. So offer. And this is number 6. The offer. Jane rushes to defend her friend Dragon, whose clumsiness has caused many problems around the castle. By concocting a story and lets her friends know that she and Dragon have received an offer to move to a castle where they love dragons. So basically what happens is cleanliness, yes, and then he keeps knocking down the walls, right? That's a big problem for everyone, right? It's a big problem. But they're like, okay, well, you know what? It's fine because he's just a freaking dragon that's huge, right? He's a huge baby. You know, you can't blame him for that. So that's basically all that happens. And they're like, well, they get mad at him for it, and it's like, you can't. Like, come on, man. Come on. You can't be mad at Dragon because he's just huge, right? It's okay. And then finally at the end of the episode, they're like, oh yeah, these stones are too freaking dry, bro. That's why they keep falling down. Like when Gunther gets up a pebble and throws it and it hits the wall, it crumbles and it falls down because it's too dry. It has to be a little bit more wet to stick together and be stronger, right? King finds out, says, who broke my wall? I did. I feel like naked. Clean it up. Build it. I mean, yeah, I would feel like naked if my freaking wall fell down right now. You know? Just saying, I would feel half naked. I'm like, oh jeez, I feel vulnerable now. But yeah, that's basically how it is, like, for real. Okay, so the second one. Dragon rules. Okay, so on a day off, Jane and her friends have a chance to play Bandyball. Dragon joins in the game, but it ends in disaster. Jane manages to get the others to involve Dragon as a referee, but playing a physical and noisy game like Bandyball without disturbing the king is extremely tricky. So, okay, so Sir Ivan is tasked with being, I guess, he's tasked with being, I guess, his bodyguard, I guess. You know, right? So he's like, okay, cool. So I'll be doing this, but I swear to God, if you guys make any freaking noise and King wakes up, it will be my head, not yours, and I will destroy you for it. Believe me when I say that. Right, so he gets all serious about it. So I think it's pretty good. Like, they really do that. So that's basically all it is. So, okay, All Fool's Day. Sure, yesterday's favorite day of the year. All Fool's Day is here, but a jealous dragon threatens to ruin the fun with his terribly unfunny pranks. Jane is determined to pull a prank on Dragon, but he proves to be a very difficult target. There is an interesting twist at the end of this episode. Yeah, it's a very interesting twist. I'm not going to tell you what it is because that's for you to know and you to find out because I don't want to spoil anything for you. But it's a very, very big twist. Extremely big twist. And I think that's one I didn't do, but I do know about the episode. I do know about it, but honestly, you need to watch it yourself because you will love it. Trust me. Anyways, Dragon Diva. Episode 9, sorry. They was 9. Okay, so Dragon Diva. So Jester is the king's best hope for winning the inner kingdom competition of song. However, Jane's enthusiastic coaching results in Jester losing his voice. Hope is rekindled when Jane overhears the talented voice, but there is one problem. She can't find the singer. I'm not going to tell you who the singer is, but I will tell you it's very unlikely for anyone. Right? I'll probably play that song too without that, but I'm gonna do this in YouTube so that I can just, like, you know, I'm gonna try to do this so I can have it. I'm gonna try this and see if I can get it. Yeah, theme song. Cool. And then we have to do something rough with that. Yeah, I might have to look at something different as well, because I'm gonna have to find something like that. Anyways, it's right there. So I got it. Okay. Anyways, okay. So yeah, that's basically all it is. She tries to get this king's approval with her singing. She cannot sing with anything. So, anyways, episode 10, Adventures in Royal Babysitting. This is pretty good. So when the king and queen are gone for a day on royal business, James is entrusted with protecting the royal heirs. Unfortunately, babysitting the burly prince and the playful princess wreaks havoc on Jane's plan to study for Sir Theodore's knighthood tests. Yeah, so what happens is, with that, there is Lavinia and Cuthbert are trying to, they play follow leader eventually, and then Jane, if you've seen that episode with me, you would know that, you know, whatever. So that's basically what it is. But anyways, yeah, things happen. Anyways, got a lot more. Okay, so Future Crowd. Episode 11, Future Crowd. So when Gunther pulls a practical joke on Jane, Dragon discovers he and Gunther share a similar sense of humor. Lowbrow. Okay. Lowbrow Jane begins to. Jane begins to feel left out, so she enlists Jester to give her a crash course on crash humor, which is dumb jokes. But they are not impressed with it, and that kind of happens with a lot of stuff like that. So they say, yeah, that's not us anymore. We got better jokes. Yeah, it's kind of hard. Anyways, okay, I pick a problem. So when Smithy's pig bites the prince, the king decides that pig must be tethered. Smithy is interested as pig is his pet and friend. When the king sells pig to the merchant, Smithy's problem will multiply. So here's what happens. So yeah, and then at the very end, Lavinia and Cuthbert have to reenact the whole thing, what happened, and he's like, oh, not again. He doesn't like it. Basically what I'm saying. So yeah, that's basically what happens. That's great. But yeah, that's basically what happens. They just like, though, King buys the pig back. Yeah, everything, you know, whatever. Okay, so 13, Thing of Beauty. Okay, here we go. This is pretty good. So the king commissions a beautiful portrait of the queen, and Jane is entrusted to guard it before the grand unveiling gala. When Jane leaves her post to checking on Dragon, the queen's portrait is left, leaving Jane in big trouble. So what happens is the queen's portrait yell, and then they go outside in the fountain to reveal it. Awesome. So what happens with that is, I'm not going to tell you the end of it, but basically what happens is someone vandalizes the portrait, and they knows who it is. But the thing is Jane. It's not Jane, but whoever it is, it's very likely. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I know who it is, but I'm not going to tell you because You need to find out for yourself. It's very good though. Anyways, episode 14, Rune. Here we go. So, with the 300th anniversary of the castle approaching, Jane and Gunther are given the important chore to prepare for the World Jubilee. Whichever squire polishes more of the castle's myriad of shields will win the honor of carrying the banner in the Jubilee parade. At the same time, Dragon wants Jane to come to his cave to help him decipher the carvings on its wall. So, basically what happens is, Gunther and Jane have to polish the shields and all that. Yeah, sure, whatever. And there's like 300 years of shields or whatever. There's one shield, I'm pretty sure it's a shield. It should be, it could be. Anyways, they're supposed to polish it. Gunther's dad, Magnus, foils Jane's progress or whatever and pours soot on the shields, making them dirty again. So that makes Jane's job harder. And it's because Magnus says, Gunther, your family has been doing this for generations. Don't let the half-wit beat you at your own game. Our family demands it. You will carry the banner. If you don't, well, you're in big trouble. That's from the legacy, so I don't see how that works at all. But finally, Jane's like, alright, listen, I gotta go. Let them do it. And it's funny because everyone's like, go! You know, so let Gunther do it, it's fine, his family does, whatever. And Jane's like, are you sure he's all messed up? He'll do fine, sorry, it's in his blood. So I think it's pretty funny to think of. So anyways, that's basically what it is. So, 15, farewell with friends. So while on patrol, Dragon's spontaneous swoop to the causes Jane to slip off and free fall through the air. Dragon manages to save her in the nick of time, but shaken by the experience. He vows that no harm will come to her and becomes something of an unprotective parent. Jane rebels against his suffocating affection and unlocks one of the secrets of her runic sword. So he tries to make sure to know. Even sparring is like a big no-no for Dragon when he's there. Whatever, and so yeah. It's kind of an obsession with like safety or whatever. I don't know, it's weird. But that's basically what it is. Other friends. I think also what happens is, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, also he finds the Falcon that's flying upside down in a cloud or something, because storms. But yeah. 16. Dragonphobia. When Jane eats some berries and passes out ill, she reawakens with amnesia, thinking she is still laying and waiting. Jane now knows the only thing is for certain. She is terrified of Dragon. So the reason for that is because this amnesia berries, they're good for dragons, not humans. So that's what basically what happens is. That's basically what happens. Ooh, that's better. Well, I kind of want to do that because it lines up my face, but I want to do that because it looks cooler. I'm going to do this because it's easier. But anyways, that's basically how it goes. So yeah, that's basically what happens is, yeah. So she acts like she just arrived at the castle, right? She's been living all her life. She doesn't know she's still night. And all her friends are like, you do as your knight in training, right? Whatever. So anyways, episode 17. This one's pretty short, prime poem. The scheming merchant concocts a plan of getting rid of Dragon once for all. So basically what happens is there is a field full of pollen that makes Dragon sneeze fire. Well, breathe fire, obviously. But anyways, it makes Dragon breathe sneeze and fire comes out, obviously. So he burns a whole field and it's like, okay, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. But one thing is, the cabbage patch that the farmer says, hey, I'll grow cabbage since you burned down that whole field, right? I'll grow cabbage for you, right? You're welcome, King. I got you covered. Don't worry, I got you. Right? So, alright, cool. So, after that, farmer prince plants cabbage, the king's like, yo, yes, cabbage. Oh, I love cabbage. So, finally after that happens, Gunther gets a handful of pollen or whatever, sprays it all over her, or Dragon, and then he sees fire and burns down the whole freaking field of cabbages, right? Bad. Really bad. So, yeah. 18, this one's pretty good. This one's like a big episode and really big impact on whatever. So, when Jane finds herself trapped in a privy at night, with no candle and a squeaky bat, she develops a sudden fear of the dark, so she has to set a candle in her room to feel safe. To make matters worse, Sir Ivan and Sir Theodore have built a hedge maze outside the castle, with which Jane and Gunther must navigate at night. Princess Lavinia gets lost inside it while wolves are hunting, leaving Jane to face her fears to save the day. Or night, basically. So, here's why. So, yeah, so Jane doesn't have... Something happens to the candle, she cannot, but yeah, she gets scared of the dark, and then, yeah. It's weird. Yeah. Basically what happens. So, anyways, episode 90 Fathers. An adventure in a newly discovered underground chamber allows Jane and Dragon to learn a little more about each of the fathers. Jeez, okay. So what happens is the Chamberlain, Jane's father, and Smithy go on a hunt for Jane and Dragon. And the reason for that is because her father is worried about her, right? And while he's with Smithy, he talks about how fathers protect their daughters no matter what. For their daughter. Easy, right? So that's what happens. So that's basically, the whole thing. Okay, so 20. Strawberry Fool. When Princess Lavinia comes down with a cold, the king puts Jane in charge to cheer her up. But one by one, Jane's elaborate plans go awry. So basically what happens is, Jester tries to do puppets, gets rid of them, burns them, and Rake decides to do the look-alike festivals, and then Jester goes into the woods and finds out that he's doing it. He's like, no, we cannot let them be exposed to this tomfoolery. We gotta stop him, right? All that stuff. So that's basically what happens. And then finally he sees them. I'll spoil that one too. I will, don't worry. But yeah. Anyways, when Jane, go rest Jane Gardner. When Jane finds out that the king is bored with Pepper's cooking, and that Rake has never traveled far beyond the castle, she figures that she can solve two problems with one dragon flight. So this one is where Rake finds a whole lot of cool things, like lemon thyme, and a few other things, right? basically that's basically the whole thing. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So that's all it is. Just one fight. I'm on the ground. He gets scared when Dragon's like taking by force now. But yeah. Okay, episode 22, Mismatched. Well, episode 26 by the way. Anyways, 26 is when it ends, and I'll do some other stuff with there. Anyways, 22 Mismatched. When Jamie and Gunther get out of hand, Sir Theodore decides to settle the differences in the sparring arena. But when Pepper mistakes Gunther, taking Jane's sword for a romance instead of courting, things start to get complicated. In this episode, Jester reveals his jealousy at the possibility that Jane and Gunther might be sweethearts. So, when that happens, Jester likes Jane. So finally, Jester goes and says, "Hey, listen, man. She likes you, or you like her. As hard as it is to believe, treat her right." And it's like, wait, what? I don't like her. What are you talking about? And finally, Princess Lavinia is helping out with like the wedding, as it were. But it's like, what wedding? Okay. Pepper, you made this up, didn't you? You were so freaking sneaky. What the freak, man? I thought we were getting love. No, we're not. You need to stop. Okay? Stop. It's not how it goes. Basically how it all fits in, but yeah. Okay, anyways. Okay, this is pretty good. Okay, so the merchant's new this is a statement of supplies containing an incredible object, a dragon's egg. So, containing an incredible object, a dragon's egg. So basically what happens is there is a dragon's egg. That scared me. There's a dragon's egg in the merchant's hands from a shipment. Cool. So what happens is, with that, they go out and the merchant now has a dragon's egg that dragon steals. Right? It's a hefty price, but dragon steals it without Jane's help. Even though Jane is like, stop, this isn't worth it, you're gonna regret it later, I promise you. He steals it. They can't really do anything about it because he's a dragon. Who's gonna challenge a dragon to a fight? But yeah, this is what happens. And so finally, I think Jane, it is, goes down and she's like, where did you find these rocks? They're like, oh yeah, we found them down by the river. They have very, very peculiar shape. Jane says, just like the dragon egg. Oh, wait. I know what's going on here. Shite. So she goes up to Dragon's Cave and says, hey, it's fake. This dragon egg, it's fake. Look, I have the same, I'm putting right here, it looks the same, right? It's fake. But see, Theodore thinks it's still a real egg because he saw a little fragment of it when he was young. Which could have been Dragon's egg, right? But Jane's like, yeah, it's fake. I'm sorry, but it's fake. And he gets so mad about that. But yeah. Okay, King's Knight. Okay, to prove It is 24 King's Night. I just thought I should tell you that. Anyways, it is a proud day for Jane, as the squires and knights must make their annual pledge of allegiance to the king. The day gets more exciting when Jane and Jester find a map to the catacombs and set off on a mission to find what they hope is treasure. Instead, however, they stumble upon a terrible tomb. So what happens with this is they find a tomb of the former king, or whatever, right? And above that, above the tomb of the former king, it says Caradoc. If this is King Caradoc, who's sitting on the throne? Jeez. So Jane can't do the pledge of allegiance to the king, right? And finally, what happens is, at the very end of the episode, the king, well, actually, after she fails, she's left in the courtroom, and the king is still next to Jane, and he's like, please tell me why you can't pledge your allegiance to me. Tell me, please, so we can figure this out. Please tell me. I like you. I want to help you out. Please tell me why you can't do that. Please help me help you. Right? Help me. Right? So she's like, I found this. She showed him the map. He's like, ah. So young boy mapped this out when he was a little boy. Obviously a little boy. But he sketches this out. King Caradoc was my brother. He died very early. So I decided to take his name as King Caradoc to keep him alive, to keep his legacy going on. So I took on the name Caradoc to keep his legacy alive and not let him die like that. So finally, after hearing that, Jane does the pledge of allegiance. She's like, I am Jane, you are a knight, or whatever. And he says, I am Caradoc, your king. And Jester gets so freaking happy about that. He's like, did you hear that, Jester? And he's like, yeah. But it's all happy. It's fine. But if he wasn't that forgiving towards Jane, she would have got kicked out. She would have been seen as an insult and got sent out of the kingdom. So yeah, 25. The last of Giant Slayers. One more after this one, and we'll call it good. I'll play the songs. Anyways, when Sir Theodore assigns Jane the mental task of slinging his sword, Gunther gloats over getting the easier task of such a duty. Dragon accuses Theodore of playing favorites, but Jane defends her mentor. That is until she discovers the broken sword of Sir Theodore's quarters with mysterious runes on its hilt. The same as hers, but instead of it having just a normal design at the hilt, it actually has a dragon with a sword through his heart. I'll show you a picture of that later, after this video. But that's how it is. Oh, I didn't realize that was a Dragon Slayer's sword. So after that, yeah, the whole thing goes on, and yeah, whatever. Chill. Anyways, Jane. Okay, so this is the last one, 26. For crying out loud. So Jane tries to master a poorly done battle cry to call out above the din of battle. Meanwhile, the royal boar hunt is on, and the squires are invited to join. Dragon cannot believe that Jane will not stand up for her defenses board. So the thing is, it's not. I'm not sure they were going to kill it because Kibo is like a King Film channel. I still want to do some of those cartoons. But anyways, what happens is the boar, it's evil, obviously, because it has red eyes and stuff like that. But the dragon is like trying to defend this boar because they're trapped in weird stuff. So Ivan actually steers the prince by saying it's a noble sport, and he gets so into it that he scares the prince, and the king has to step in and say, and he. So Ivan, not to tell you. So Ivan scares the little kid, and he's like, "It's a very noble sport, Your Majesty, Your Highness, or whatever." He says, "He's like, it's a very noble sport." And he's like, "Oh, I'm still kind of scared. I don't know about this," but yeah, it's fine. So that's what it kind of ends with that. So yeah. Oh yeah. So anyways, yeah. So do that, and then like. After that, the picnic with the princess and the queen and all them are doing a picnic. And the boar almost attacks them, but Jester took off his hands to go with the bells. So it's pretty cool. But it's a very good episode. I highly recommend it. It's a very good episode, honestly. It really is. So yeah, it's very good. I enjoy it. So I'm gonna play those things for you now. So I'm gonna do that and then bring this over here after I do this, and then yeah. I might have to pause this video quite a bit to look for the things, but yeah. But anyways, here we go.
The onboarding, the benefits, the off request.
There once was a lady in waiting, let's call her Jane. That girl...
Let's get a better quality, right? You know, everyone wants a better quality. Get that over lower, there we go.
There once was a lady in waiting, let's call her Jane. That girl wasn't ordinary.
No way for me, a lady stuck in waiting. I'd rather battle fire-breathing dragons. I knew I could prove that a girl could be a knight, though my friends all laughed at me. But I wouldn't be discouraged and trained in secret. Then a dragon pinched the royal prince and everyone was freaking. So I went along to the dragon's hall to slay the dragon. Hey now, Jane and the dragon are best friends now. Dragon sweet, he let me see the young prince. Then the king made me a knight apprentice. Hey now, with dragon's help I'll be a knight someday.
I think the original version is different. I will show you the other songs though, because I do have some of them. So yeah, let me just find those. Because here is the actual version of the song.
There's a lady in waiting, let's call her Jane. That girl wasn't ordinary.
That's Jester right there.
No way
This is
for
Jane.
a lady stuck in waiting. I'd rather battle fire-breathing dragons. I knew I could prove that a girl could be a knight, though my friends all laughed at me. But I wouldn't be discouraged and trained in secret. Then a dragon pinched the royal prince and everyone was freaking. So I went along to the dragon's hall to slay the dragon. Hey now, Jane and the dragon are best friends now. Dragon sweet, he let me see the young prince. Then the king made me a knight apprentice. Hey now, with dragon's help I'll be a knight someday.
That's the actual thing, and let me just get that other song. Okay, so here's the scene that I was talking about.
Sore throat?
Good luck.
Through wooded glade I wander, gathering blossoms as I go. I'll bring them to milady, that her heart she may bestow. Shall I bring her roses, or lilacs for her hair? But the finest bloom of all is the love that we two share.
That's basically what it is. Another thing, so let's just go to this one. Okay, here's the other song I was talking about.
Puppet! Just as a puppet!
Yes, delightful. Quite delightful.
It's pretty good though.
I went for a walk in the woods out there to find a puppet for a princess fair. Through field and forest I pursued my quest to find a puppet of the very best. But I found no puppet for my princess fair, though I looked for my puppet everywhere. So I brought her some berries, big and red. I brought my princess strawberries instead.
Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty good. So that one's pretty good. And next up we have, I don't know what it is. Hold on. Before we go further, I do want to say Test and Jess was the one where the living is up in the tower. So I do remember that. Okay, so this video probably isn't going to get monetized, but yeah, I don't care because I just want you guys to see this.
The most thoughtful boy ever, Rake.
That was something different. I'm not sure what's going on. I love this song.
And now the real fun begins. Jester, your last chance to run.
Sir Ivan's an expert on force and gobbling down course after course. So he's big and he's brash with a bushy moustache. He resembles the rear of a horse.
Sing these songs because Jester does this.
Well struck.
The verbal ball is in your coat, sir.
Ah, stuff and nonsense. Sir Theodore, this knave makes a mockery of our duel.
The
Precisely.
knave.
And now you
Wow.
may counter his mockery with your own.
I can't sing.
Jester is skinny, can't fight, which is why he's not a knight. What? It rhymed.
I decree round 1 goes to Jester.
Yep.
Guess you don't necessarily need a sword to humble a knight. Hey, Jane.
True. Jester has humbled 2 of us today.
For round 2, Sir Ivan, I suggest a riddle. The answer comes first. Bulls.
Anyways, that's basically what it is. Next one is, that's about it. So yeah, that's basically all I have. I was trying to make this video an hour or 2 hours long. Yeah, it's pretty good. Just because of the way it is. Yeah, I enjoyed this time talking with you. Well, you guys did too. I hope. But yeah, usually the whole thing about the whole series. So yeah. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you personally as always, peace. With the outro, bro. Gotta get clear.